students. Today we'll be looking at the last topic of biology, ecology over here. So before we actually delve into all of these terminology, some of it you already recognized in lower sec or even in primary school. Think of it this way. So when you first did the topic on cells, we have got this entire structure system whereby cells go to tissues, to organ system, and eventually organism. So similarly in ecology, we have got this structure whereby I have got species, and multiple species will then give rise to a population which consists of the same species that must be able to reproduce. So what it means is if I got two male monkeys on an island, it is not considered to be a population. If I have got two immature, that means sexually immature monkeys, even though they are one female and one male, but because they do not have the ability to reproduce yet, is they still not considered to be a population. So multiple populations will make up an ecosystem, will make up a community itself together with abiotic and biotic factors, which we will take a look at later, will make up the ecosystem. Okay, so pretty much these ones you have it over here. So we have species, and then subsequently we have got our population here. So population, group of individuals of the same species and must be in the same area. So meaning to say, if I have got a group of zebras in Africa versus a group of zebras in Australia, they are not considered to be a population together. Okay, so that will be two different populations. So community, we have it here, different populations within a given habitat, that means within a given area that they live in. And ecosystem, whereby you have got interaction between the living populations, which are the different populations, and also the non-living environment such as pH, temperature, etc. Okay, so certain terms like consumer is similar to all the animals that eat, so including herbivores, omnivores, and carnivores. So decomposers, heterotrophs, are very important to the environment because they break down organic substances into simpler substances. So all these substances contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen elements. So these were then returned to the environment, which is then taken up by the plants and then utilized for photosynthesis, etc. Okay, do bear in mind the term producer is called autotrophic. You have got anything that does not produce food on their own. Okay, anything. So herbivore, omnivore, carnivores, all these do not produce food on their own. Decomposers also do not produce food. All these are classified under heterotrophs. So producers, they are automatic, so they can automatically produce their own food. So autotrophic over here. Okay, so first trophic level is the producer, second trophic level are the consumers onwards. So from the second trophic level, that is when you got primary consumer. So common mistake made by students is that they think primary consumer is the first trophic level because primary suggests is one. But bear in mind, trophic level includes producers, so the numbers go up this way. Okay, so interactions with the environment, abiotic factors are the non-living factors. So all these, not necessarily everything at one time, okay, different factors depending on the environment. So if it is a muddy area, for example, okay, then things like, for example, you have got pH level, okay, the soil, the roots of the plants, okay, like the mangrove swans will be affected. But if it is a ecosystem in Africa, for example, then sunlight, temperature, air, this will play a role as well. Okay, so all animals have various adaptations, plants as well, to survive in the ecosystem. So this will then affect the prey-predator relationship of the organisms, and we have got several over here. So prey-predator leading to adaptations. Okay, so mutualism means it is mutualistic. Both sides will benefit. So for example, here I have got the flower, I have got a bee. So the flower have nectary guides, if you recall your reproduction in plants, that guides the insects down towards the nectary region. And subsequently, the pollen grains will land onto the bee, and the bee is able to transfer the pollen grains for reproduction at another area. Okay, at the same time, the flower will provide nectar as a food source for the bee. So both mutualistic benefiting each other. Okay, commensalism on the other hand is one will benefit, the other one has totally no harmful effect. So over here I got the sea anemone and the reefs. The reefs provide the sea anemone a place to hide in, while the sea anemone is protected, the reefs are not harmed. Another one that we have got the remora fish, okay, which actually goes behind the shark. It's a very small fish. So whenever the shark consumes the prey, and because sharks they don't have very good eyesight, so subsequently the remora fish is able to feed off the scraps of the shark. The shark is not harmed, the remora fish benefits. So what is not written here, we have got another one that tends to come out, parasitism. Okay, is whereby you have got one benefit and one that is being harmed. So for example, I have got ticks and dog. Okay, so these ticks feed off the blood of the dogs and pass on harmful viruses. So they benefit, but the dog gets the bacteria and the harmful viruses. Okay, so food chain, food web, take note this keyword, transfer of energy. So the arrow shows the transfer of energy. So the arrow head must be pointing to where the energy is transferred to. So the grass energy is transferred to the rabbit. Energy of the rabbit is transferred to the hawk upon consumer. So this is a food web. Okay, so each of these will have a food chain. So grass to rabbit to hawk is one food chain. If the arrows must follow each other, we'll have another food chain here. So grass, grasshopper, toad, and the hawk-nosed snake. Okay, there's a one more here, just one more example. Okay, so this is a really short one. So I have got my grass to grasshopper and then to garter snake. Okay, and to the hawk as well. So the hawk is what we call the apex predator, APEX, that's the top predator. Okay, so balanced ecosystem, the numbers must remain constant almost over a period of time. So what you notice over here is that the prey concentration or the population number will always increase first before the predator. So for example, it's winter, okay, everyone is hibernating, of course not in Singapore. So subsequently when spring comes, the population of the prey will increase because mating starts to take place, there's more food for the prey. So as the population of the prey increase, subsequently I will have an increase in predator because the predators are able to consume more prey. So that will show an increase in predator. So eventually after some time, the consumption rate and the reproduction rate is going to overlap. Okay, either that or you have got limited resources, or you have got changes in the environment, and subsequently prey population which are weaker or which are younger, they are not able to survive the changes as well, not able to adapt, and they will then die off. So this means lesser food for the predator, and the predator population will also drop. Okay, so all this energy, we call it the energy flow, whereby I have got autotrophs that uses light energy. So make sure you memorize this. Light energy converts inorganic carbon, which is the carbon dioxide. You cannot consume carbon dioxide, so it's inorganic. Whereas glucose, this one C6H12O6 is organic because it can be consumed. So this glucose is then used for release of energy via respiration. Okay, so this energy that is being released is used to run almost every metabolic reactions in the body system. Now, however, as you go through the trophic levels, 90% of the energy is lost. So we have got 2000 kilojoules or 2000 joules from the sun. Subsequently, the plant utilizes the sun's energy, synthesizes 200 joules. Okay, but from here, the caterpillar eats the plant. This caterpillar will then lose 90% of the energy to the environment via feces, growth, reproduction, molting, metabolic reactions, respiration, etc. Okay, so that means to say the energy flow has to be constantly supplied, and only 10% is available to the next trophic level. So when we go back up to here, okay, the apex predator at the top, you can appreciate that this apex predator has to be a lot bigger than the prey, obviously. So what it means is that this predator has to be in very, very small numbers because number one, 90% of the energy is lost. So which means to say the amount of energy available to the hawk is very minimal. Subsequently, secondly, the hawk is also very big compared to the prey. So which means it has to consume more to make up for the loss of energy and also to be able to fulfill the mass needed for its own energy. Okay, so apex predators very, very small number, and that's also why the trophic levels are limited, because if it gets too high, there won't be sufficient energy for the apex predators at the top. Okay, so moving down ecological pyramids, we have got three different pyramids. Pyramid of numbers is literally the number of individual organisms in a specific ecosystem. So we don't go and count the numbers in the continent, two separate continents. Okay, it has to be within the same ecosystem. Now biomass is over here the total amount of living tissue, so which means you remove all the water. Okay, which is why it is surprising for a lot of students that the pyramid of biomass, how can one blade of grass be heavier than the eagle? Okay, we are not comparing in terms of one each. What we are comparing is all the grass, all removed, all the water totally removed and dried. That is the mass. So similarly for every organism, as the organism grows, the quantity of water in them grows as well, which is removed from the calculation of biomass. Okay, just like in humans, we are made up of 80% water, so our biomass is not that much. Okay, so back to pyramid of numbers. So it's literally the numbers. Be careful of this. So if I got one tree can have, for example, 10 petals. So proteozoas are little parasites. So one beetle can have 10 proteozoa. So I can have 100 proteozoa. Okay, so pyramid of energy. Okay, this one some schools will want you all to draw it according to the ratio. So meaning to say you cannot draw like that. So if this is representative of 10 units, then the next one is only 1 unit because only 10% goes on to the next trophic level.